Hi everybody, this is John with Keith's House of Plumbing, and I'm at a job here on Fripp Island, South Carolina, and it's one of those jobs the homeowner had a contractor, it's a bad contractor, didn't work out. So the plumbing in here, we've had some issues we needed to take care of, and I wanted to go over some of the things I'm seeing, just as far as why you want to have somebody that knows what they're doing in your house working on your plumbing. So let's get started. Okay, so first of all, just aesthetically, some of this is no big deal. Some of it is a big deal. So we have a single hole mount sink faucet. They went ahead and they used the escutcheon. Possibly might have been a customer preference. I doubt it. Some people just don't know. You don't have to use that. That's just completely aesthetic, no big deal. Which I get a little bit anal about some of this stuff. I like it to be done right. This right here, the wording on this, line it up. It wasn't lined up. The putty was minimal putty, and it was seeping through to the bottom. So he has a dishwasher over here also, which they lost the clips. They didn't get it installed right. They never knocked out the knockout on the disposal, which means it didn't even drain at first. So they had to address that before I got here. So looking under here, I've already done it, but they had this drain, no P-trap, no nothing back here. It just went straight in, which they were probably getting odor. So we had to redo that correctly with the P-trap. Had to redo the mount. It wasn't tight. It wasn't puttied correctly. So they were getting some leakage. Okay, now, and I'm just going to address the plumbing. There's other stuff I noticed just offhand walking around that's just completely wrong and not good. Another thing I want to look at. Let's go in here. We go like the second bath. Okay, so we have a toilet, and I was working on the tub and just leaned up against it and noticed that it rocks. Okay, you can probably hear that. So what that means is that movement over time, that wax seal is going to eventually compress and come away from the toilet, and you're going to have, this is a second story unit, so eventually that seal will go bad and the people down below are going to have a disaster. So very important that toilets are reset correctly, which this one was not, which we'll be addressing later. All right, moving on. We have a Delta shower valve. The trim wasn't on right. They had part of the trim. There was an O-ring in here. That's a friction O-ring. They had it on the wrong side. The handle was hard, turn, scraping. We fixed that. As far as I know, no other issues in here. Let's go ahead and go to the master bath. And guys, I'm doing this video in one take, so I'm no pro. So we're kind of going to go as we go. All right. Master bath shower. Looks straightforward. We have a pressure balance valve. We have a diverter valve, which I've got the trim off right now, but we have a handheld shower. Now the complaint in here was they only had hot water on the handheld. Come to find out, they have the diverter valve plumbed in as if it's another valve with hot and cold, which is entirely incorrect. It's supposed to be coming off the feed from the main valve, and then, it diverts between main shower head and handheld, which it wasn't. So we're going to go on the back side of the wall and look at that. Okay, so in here, I've already pulled the stackable dryer out. We had an access panel, so that was good. Okay, so what we have here is we have the main valve in the bottom with the diverter valve up top. Okay, so hot line is coming in here from below. It's coming up. They've got it looped it goes into the main valve, and it also comes in and goes into the diverter valve. This right here is just capped below. Cold does the same thing. They've got it piped into the diverter valve. And guys, if you look at this, if I pulled this board off, this board right here was only screwed in by this little screw, and it was split. So this main valve was going all over the place. This diverter valve, that's how it was. It's just kind of leaned up against that plumbing line right there. I mean, this is a mess. I've got to tear all of this out and start fresh. Every bit of it. They've got double crimp rings, which who knows why they did that. Probably weren't aware you only need one. Trying to look right here and see what else. I saw one of these that weren't, we have a bad bend right here. If you look at that, that's borderline. That's going to crack over time. Oh, right here. Here it is. Look at this fitting with the red pipe on it. Look at how far this crimp ring, if you look at it from this angle, I'll try to get a screwdriver. If you look at how far this crimp ring is from this right here, there's probably only one groove crimped on that 90, on that fitting. Over time, that could easily blow off. Not only that, but it's not aligned. If you look at the angle on that, look at how far off that is. That is probably going to blow off, literally, over time. So, anyway, we're going to rip that all out, fix that all up. End up pulling the dishwasher out and want to double check the plumbing back there and make sure it's even okay. So, this is why you want to hire a professional. Somebody that at least knows how to do it. Sometimes you'll get guys that know how to do it but don't want to take the time to do it. That's another story. But you want to make sure whoever's doing your plumbing knows how to do plumbing, especially if you're paying for it. So, keep dry, keep everything running downhill, and water flowing up.